What are the cases in which we need the rule of Hamzat al-waṣl and the rule of the definite article al? Generally, any word that begins with either of these two is included. So whenever you speak Arabic or read any Arabic text, you need to pay close attention to such words and know that there will be connection, which we call in Arabic wasl. This means that the word beginning with Hamzat al-waṣl or al will be pronounced together with the word before it as if they're a single one, not two separate words. Today I will highlight some of the common cases in which Hamzat al-waṣl and al appear. And as usual, we will pronounce several exercises together, including this word, which we mentioned in the previous lesson and didn't have the chance to practice. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Mustafa Nasser speaking and you are watching Arabic for Nuns. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, activate the bell and like the video. And always check the video description for the PDF slides. Let's begin. If you're interested in improving your English, I recommend Panic Learn. They have certified teachers who can help you reach English fluency in just 4 weeks. They will build your confidence and greatly boost your communication skills. This is suitable for both Arabs and non-Arabs. They offer 2 main plans, one for 499 Saudi Riyals and one for 249 Saudi Riyals. You can join them using the link in the video description to get a discount. Let's begin with these 2 examples. As you can see, the first word begins with Hamzat al-waṣl, while the second begins with Hamzat al-qaṭʿ. We'll do the same exercise as before. We will pronounce each word 3 times. First, on its own, then after adding al, and finally after adding wa before al. Notice that I stop the words with sukun at the end, because I want to focus on the beginnings of the 2 words. The first one will be pronounced as استعمال. 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 And the second will be أمل. 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 In both words, the Hamza sound is pronounced. The difference is that it carries a kasra vowel in the first word and a fatha vowel in the second. When we make these 2 words definite by adding al, the word that begins with Hamzat al-qaṭʿ will be pronounced normally. So we say al-amal, al-amal, al-amal. However, in the word that begins with Hamzat al-waṣl, the Hamza is no longer at the beginning of pronunciation or at the beginning of the speech, because we added al before it. As a result, it becomes silent. Phonologically, the word behaves as if it's written like this. Therefore, the correct pronunciation will be الاستعمال. 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 You shouldn't pronounce the Hamza here, as in الاستعمال. الاستعمال. That's incorrect. Notice something important here. Although the lam has sukun, we pronounced it with a kasra sound. Li, ali, الاستعمال. This kasra is inserted to avoid 2 consecutive sukuns, which Arabic doesn't allow. We will understand this point in more detail in a later lesson. Let's now place both words in the middle of speech by adding the conjunction wa. The first one is going to be والأمل. 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 Here, only the Hamza of al is silent because it's Hamzat al-waṣl, and it occurs in connected speech. The second Hamza is still pronounced because it is Hamzat al-qaṭʿ, which is always pronounced. The second one will be pronounced as والاستعمال والاستعمال والاستعمال. In this case, both Hamzat al-waṣl are silent, the one in the definite article al and the one at the beginning of the word itself. It's pronounced as if the word is written like this, without the two hamzas. Let me give you another exercise to practice yourself. These two words. You shall try them in the three cases as in the previous exercise. Take a moment to think about the pronunciation of the first one. Okay, it will be like this. العاب العاب الألعاب الألعاب والألعاب والألعاب. Now try the second one and pay close attention. Well, it will be pronounced like this. لسان لسان اللسان اللسان واللسان واللسان. The lam of al is silent in the last case, while the lam at the beginning of the word is doubled. Now let's identify some of the common cases in which the rules of Hamzat al-waṣl and al are especially clear. I'll mention them first before practicing an example on each. One obvious case is the definite subject. Arabic verbal sentences usually begin with the verb followed by the subject. When the subject is definite and begins with al, the rule of al applies, like in these examples. Another common case is the prepositional phrase, al-jar wal-majroor, where the noun that follows the preposition is sometimes definite, like in these phrases. This includes single-letter prepositions as well, like ba, kaf, and lam, which are treated as separate words in pronunciation, as we'll see in the practice. A third case involves coordinating conjunctions, حروف العطف, which are usually followed by definite nouns. We have been using one of them so far, the conjunction wa, which means and. A fourth case appears in construct phrases, al-mudaf wal-mudaf ilayh, where the second word, al-mudaf ilayh, is usually definite, which means we'll have the rule of al. A fifth case involves adverbs of time and place, ظرف الزمان وظرف المكان, which are usually followed by a noun that's often definite. Another important case is adjectives, النعت. In Arabic, an adjective must match the noun it describes in 4 features, one of which is definiteness. This means you'll often encounter 2 definite nouns in a row, the definite noun and its adjective. The final case I can think about is imperative verbs. Many of them begin with Hamzat al-waṣl, like اكتب, اجلس, اذهب. Whenever such a verb appears in the middle of the speech, the rule of Hamzat al-waṣl will be activated. Now let's practice an example on each of these cases. For the first case of the definite subject, check this sentence. Let me first pronounce each word separately. جاء المعلم جاء المعلم. When reading them together, there will be a connection, wasl. So we move directly from the final hamza in the first word to the lunar lam in the second word, as if the two words were one unit, like this. So it will be pronounced as جاء المعلم جاء المعلم. Remember, whenever we stop reading, we stop on sukun, even if the word's ending is a vowel. So this sentence should be جاء المعلم. جاء المعلم. The second phrase we have is this one. Let's pronounce them separately first. في الصيف. في الصيف. When we connect them, we make the jump. The hamza of al is silent because it's in connected speech, and the lam is also silent because it is a solar lam. So it will be pronounced as في الصيف. في الصيف. Here are three more phrases using single-letter prepositions. Let's pronounce them one by one. First, بالسيارة. بالسيارة. The alif and lam are silent here because we are in connected speech and the lam is solar. Second, كالقمر. كالقمر. Only the alif is silent because we are in connected speech again, while the lam is pronounced because it's lunar this time. Third, للبيت. للبيت. Notice here that when using the preposition li, the hamza of al is dropped in writing as well as in pronunciation. In the third case of coordinating conjunctions, حروف العطف, we have the single letter conjunction, fa, which indicates immediate sequence. In the following sentence, it will be pronounced as جاء المعلم فالطالب. جاء المعلم فالطالب. Another conjunction is ثم, which means then with delay. I will replace fa with ثم in the previous example. We will have two connections. The verb connects to its subject, and the conjunction ثم connects to the definite noun that follows it. So the whole sentence will be read as جاء المعلم ثم الطالب. جاء المعلم ثم الطالب. The fourth case needs a little attention. It's about construct phrases, المضاف والمضاف إليه. This construction revolves around possession. The first word is the possessed, المضاف, and the second is the possessor, المضاف إليه. In a phrase like the following, we will have a connection. So it will be read as باب الفصل. باب الفصل. You need extra attention if the first word ends with ta marbuta. In this case, the ta is pronounced as T sound in connection, as in this phrase, which will be مديرة المدرسة. مديرة المدرسة. Notice that the ta marbuta at the end of the first word is pronounced as T sound, while the ta marbuta at the end of the second word is pronounced as H sound. This is going to be the subject of our next lesson. The fifth case involves adverbs of time and place, ظرف الزمان وظرف المكان. When the noun following the adverb is definite, as in this phrase, there will be a connection by jumping directly to the letter sheen in the second word. Both alif and lam are silent for two different reasons. Let me repeat them again. The alif is silent because it's in connected speech, and the lam is silent because it is solar. We can make sure of that from the shadda on the letter sheen. Let's pronounce it. تحت الشجرة. تحت الشجرة. Case number 6 is about adjectives when its noun is definite. as in this phrase, which will be pronounced as الولد الطويل. الولد الطويل. We have two definite articles here. Let me mention some facts about this phrase. The first Hamza is pronounced because it's at the beginning of the speech. The following lam is pronounced because it is Lunar. The second Hamza is silent because it's in the middle of the speech, and the following lam is also silent because it is solar. If we replace the word al-walad with al-rajul, then only the first Hamza will be pronounced. Listen to the pronunciation. الرجل الطويل. الرجل الطويل. The final case we mentioned is imperative verbs. فعل الأمر. As we mentioned earlier, many of imperative verbs in Arabic begin with Hamzat al-waṣl. So if one of them occurs in connected speech, its Hamza will be silent. Check this example, which will be read as ادخل واجلس. ادخل واجلس. The first Hamza is pronounced because it begins the speech, while the second is silent because it's in connected speech. Well, now you know some of the common cases in which you'll need the rule of Hamzat al-waṣl and the rule of al, and you have seen and practiced some examples. There will be some additional exercises in the PDF to try yourself. In the next lesson, we will talk extensively about at-ta al-marbuta. We will learn about its origin, we'll check the difference between it and the letter ha, and of course, we will practice many exercises together. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and like the video. And as usual, always check the video description for free PDFs. I'll see you soon.